Aw, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, just waiting for the lobby invite now. I started the stream because I've got that delay, so yeah.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully the stream's actually up then when the match time is, so people can start filtering in even though I'm on a delay.
Wow. Outstanding.
I
So it's
know.
happening right now.
I mean, have you seen how much more professional I am this week? I have the map strat
You
thing.
had the map strat, yeah.
I
was
tried
really
to use
impressed.
the lobby stats. That didn't work, so I'm not doing that anymore. I have logos that I'm hopefully putting on the correct sides.
Didn't you have logos last time?
Yeah, but I had them on the wrong sides, and I also had them covering up like cap points or player names.
Oh, you monster.
And now I've even got like a startup screen for those first 5 minutes when we're just sitting in lobby doing nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I added
So that's
that for the
happening
last
right now?
cast. Yeah, that's what people are seeing right now, although they're hearing us as well, so it's
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, because I'm not bothering to mute us while we're while that thing's up, eh?
Well, then at least you know that the audio's working.
Oh wow, okay, so
Look at that. We've become part of Raptor Talon? Up. Up. Oh, man. There goes our honorary status.
alright.
Good thing you told them. They might not have been able to figure that out.
Yeah, I was typing it and then they did it because I typed slow, okay?
Okay, all right. Look, we're on the same team here.
Team professionalism.
What? Wow. How have the matches been going, Therax? What have you been seeing today?
Sorry, I was typing there.
Yeah, I saw that. You really have to concentrate on that. Yep.
Yeah, well, okay, my push to talk's on a letter, all right?
That's fine.
Go
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the thing before I do a radio cast here.
You don't want to forget.
Raptor Talons is team 1. Yeah, okay, I think I have it all good.
Man, we get to call the countdown? Are we getting
I mean,
we're gonna be...
We're not refs, I don't know, I mean...
It's Ref Judas now. Anywho, you did some matches earlier, yeah? Maybe a couple?
Yeah, I cast a match Thursday, and then I cast one this morning before the match where you and I played. So yeah, I've seen a little bit of stuff here. So it's Brawl on drop 1, right? You know, everybody knows this by now, right? Oh, and we're supposed to introduce ourselves at the beginning. So I'm
maybe the teams too, even.
I'm T-Rax. I'm T-Rax and I'm casting, and I've got my co-caster here, the captain. The captain.
CptJudas.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the captain. There is only one. And we're doing an ISC5 match that we're casting. It's week 1. This is division. What was the division? Was this division F?
Wow.
I wrote it down. Come on.
Well, this cast is division F right now.
Sorry.
But yeah, that seems
it's Div
right.
F, which is one up from the bottom. We have Raptor Talons, and on the other side we have GNX-B team, which is called the Birdcage.
Holy for holy, Therax. You know what I like most about these two teams and what we're seeing today is that they are both locked up and ready to go already. They're coming in here with a game plan. You know, kind of like planning to go to Denny's and get that Grand Slam breakfast.
All right, there we go. So
Well,
drop on Vitric Station. It's a 6v6 IS mechs only, and there are only 3 caps active on the map.
And what have we been seeing? Like, we see some people trying to really stay up top, you know, and really try to hold that top, that high ground. And, you know, I think we've seen some stuff on the ground too, right?
Sorry, logos. Yeah, logos.
Yeah.
So it's brawling on drop 1. There's only 250 tons divided among 6 mechs, so there isn't a whole lot of range that I'm expecting here.
Vitric Station too. It's a fun one.
Yeah, newer map, 7 months old. So yeah, I've seen it in comp before this league, but it is still relatively new.
I'm excited for this. What side you want to do? We're
I'm
doing
on
the thing, right?
GNX. I'm just going to run through them quick here. We've got Crab, Phoenix Hawk, Javelin, Machine Gun Javelin, another Machine Gun Javelin. So 3 Phoenix Hawks. That's all the Phoenix Hawks used up. They've got 1 Crab and 2 Javelins supplementing it. So small pulse machine guns is what I'm anticipating.
Okay, what I'm seeing over here on Raptor Talons, and I gotta say, I love this deck. We got 3 javelins, 11Fs, so probably the machine guns and some little pulsy lasers, and then we got 2 Kintaro 18s, some real hairy-chested shit right there, and then along with the Centurion D, that's the LB5, I believe. Yep, LB5, light PPC on him, DPS machine. Even if it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, it's sure not a lot of fun getting hit by that.
Yeah.
Kintaras, of course, are SRMs.
The Centurion's getting some early shots out, so they're going to have a slight damage lead before the brawl starts. Crab is 5 medium pulse.
Okay.
So
That's a little dated, but let's
it's a
it's a
little bit
role
of
player,
additional range
you
to the
know?
rest of their team, but they're definitely going to be brawling. Here we go. Pushes
Okay.
in. One of the Phoenix Hawks is not in the push. A
He
little bit
fell.
behind.
Phoenix Hawk fell.
Yeah, Ghost and Nox
Uh,
have a Phoenix Hawk that is not in the fight. He's behind another Phoenix Hawk coming up the ramp.
Dear God, Felix, it's pandemonium out here at the top of Vitric Forge. There's UAVs everywhere. These guys are just going at it.
One of the crabs legged. He's down. First cat. Each
Oh
team has 1 dead.
God, the crab, he had a family.
Javelin here from Fira is legged, so he'll be... Nobody's shooting him, though. They're ignoring him. Quintero from Crazy Motorbiker is going down. Kills
Wow.
are coming out fast and furious. GNX is down in percentage, but they do have a kill lead.
Very much so.
Phoenix Hawk is legged from Athena, so GNX, that should be a kill that was going to be picked up shortly here.
And what we're seeing here is Raptor Talons. They're down on numbers. They've pretty much had to concede that high ground now, and it's going to be hard for them to really do anything from here either.
Yeah, 2 mechs left. This is probably going the way of GNX. Low
GNX can
percentages,
jump
though.
down there and
Could.
just clean up, but no, there we go.
Phoenix Hawk is legged, so one of the javelins has got
Expect
legged
all
as
this
well.
early. This is MechWarrior Online, there, X. Anything can happen here. Still, Iggy, he's got a look at him go.
It's 1v3. Javelin's looking relatively wounded, though.
I think he lost his leg, but he's still in the fight.
Once
Not
that leg is gone, lifespan
he's not
is...
hurt. He's mad. Oh wait,
Oof.
nah, he was hurt. All right, looks like GNX takes this one. Goes to Nox. Those cutie patooties.
Yeah, so they have 1 leg mech and 2 relatively... Well, the Javelin, both legs are open, so close, but it does go GNX's way somewhat decisively.
Yeah, that was an interesting push. At first, I thought that's not going to be a good angle, especially with the crab peeking first. I don't think it's a great for him to be shooting down that ramp. But they committed to the push there, Axe, and that's what you got to do when you're gonna make that move, when you want to brawl it out, when you want to fight it out. You just got to commit to it, even if it looks scary at first.
All right, just a quick run through on the damages. Each team has a mech that double D'd. That'd be the first focus target, undoubtedly. Damage spread otherwise relatively low. 320 out of one of the Phoenix Hawks, but no kills on that. The kills are going for the Javelin because the machine guns are kind of cleanup squad there. So yeah, relatively expected damage spread. Centurion got some early chip damage, ends up having the lead of the damage for the Raptor Talons.
What I'm seeing here, Therax, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm seeing is some sharpshooters. That's the reason for these damage numbers. Each of these guys putting in work, playing the team game, and it's just kind of that first drop domino effect. You take down that first mech, tough to bounce back.
All right, we're getting set here for drop 2. Maybe we'll pop up a map strat for that during the lobby time.
Oh, fantastic.
So we are switching maps to Frozen City. Frozen City Conquest. And there are 2 cap points that are not active. That would be Gamma, Sigma. Those 2 caps are right out.
It's known as the home caps here. They're X.
Yeah, you can call them home caps. They're near the spawn. Some maps they've been moved further away from those locations, but on this map, those are definitely home caps. So what I'm seeing on this map, I believe it's Team 1 favored because the Team 1 range positions are rather strong. You could play a relatively easy Team 1 range here relative to Team 2 range, although Team 2 does have range option as well, using perches near the dropship and then toward the city as well. But what I'm expecting more from Team 2 would be a push. We've seen a very popular push line up through the Fox line. There's also a push line in the lower ground past Theta, and both of those will get you in on the in on Team 1 if Team 1's playing range relatively easily.
So true. We see that time and time again, Therax and ISC and 5 cap. It's really easy to get some ground up that 7 line. Not only do you have plenty of cover, but it's surprisingly difficult to scout along that. You can
Yeah.
really get some weight up close, because the natural instinct is to play those strong range positions on Team 1. And if you can catch them standing flat-footed with a push, you're going to see some results there. So it's really important that Team 1 scouts that area out. They do that, you're right. I think they have some really strong range trading positions there. Do you think both teams go for Theta from the get-go?
I mean, Theta's the king cap here because cap is so far out of the way that it's difficult to send someone over there. It's basically a non-combat zone. So teams either rush
Yeah.
Theta or they just try to deny it with long-range fire, which would put it to a potential stalemate. Stalemates are fine for trading. I think that these teams they're going to play fairly aggressive, and I expect that they're going to make an attempt for Kappa, sending one or two faster light mechs. We could also see a push out of Team 1, which is Raptor Talons. They play a relatively aggressive style. They might make a push through the Echo 4, and then if Team 2 is attempting to play range, they could push dropship, or they could take and occupy the high city themselves and take the trading positions there for themselves. So we'll see what happens with these teams.
Really, Therax, for both Team 1 and Team 2 sides, you can really play both sides of the wrap, and you can really just toil it around into a circle if you need to. It's a
Yeah.
lot of rotating of sorts that we might see here too, switching over and taking that other side of the ground to trade.
Yeah, this map can be played both ways, brawl or range. I wouldn't say it's overly favorable for either. Maybe a slight preference for range for the Team 1 side, but you can definitely play brawl or range from either side quite easily.
You know what I like to see Therax is when the teams do the old switcheroo. They come at you with a fast brawl deck, and then you plan for it the next time, and boom, they hit you with the range.
All right, teams are now booting into the Frozen City.
Man, I'm catching a chill just looking at it.
Okay. I'm going to remember not to push any buttons before things start because I've gotten my camera locked up a couple times.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
I gotta wait for that music. Alright, I've got the Raptor Talons side here for their mech drop. We're looking at Stalkers, triple Stalker 5S, so they're playing ER large on those, undoubtedly. We have a Stalker 5K, that'd be machine gun, possibly with a large laser or something in addition. And then they're bringing that a Commando as their second light and a Phoenix Hawk 1K, who is moving relatively slow out of spawn, but is triple ER large on the the Phoenix Hawk 1K. So that is not something supporting lights, it's something rather that is going to be supporting the assaults.
This is going to be fun, Therax. Over on Ghost and Nox side, we have 3 Stalker 5Ss with your larges. I love this deck too. We got 2 Osiris 4Ds. Love the Osiris. Wish more of the variants were worthwhile, Cauldron. And then we got a Blackjack 3 rounding that out, and he's running PPCs on that. So they're definitely looking to play some range here. Get that early Theta cap and just kind of control it from there.
Yeah, so Theta went the way of Ghost of Nox because it was uncontested from Raptor Talons, and the range was not in position yet to deny it. These Osirises are going in close early. Wow.
Yeah, I think that they actually can get away with this too, though, because they're not even looking this way, and this lets them screen them, right? They kind of limits now the movement for Raptor Talon.
Yeah, it was risky, but they knew, I guess, that both lights were over at Epsilon, so they're able to just harass the assaults without getting jumped.
The Knox, they're no dummy. Look at if you look at over at their side, they're really playing this range deck well. They're really spread out. They got a lot of angles. They got it. They have Theta covered from so many different angles. And these Osiris's, they're getting involved too. They're not just sitting back out of range. They're up where they can do something. In fact, the Blackjack we see is now moving over to Candy Mountain.
Yeah, they're spread out. They're getting their angles. They're putting in some damage. So I I guess oh, the Blackjack's playing low ground,
Yeah,
taking a fair bit of punishment.
yeah. He's second guessing his plan there. I don't necessarily disagree with that move.
Yeah, you low ground. There's not a lot of cover there
Yeah.
for
What
crossing.
Raptor Talons? They're getting frisky with their lights now.
They
I think they're
are, but
trying. They're thinking about making a play.
the Spider and the Commando are largely outgunned to the Osirises if they were to get into light fight.
Thoughts on them not taking Kappa by now?
They're jumping a single Osiris. The two Osirises are a little bit
Oh
split.
yeah.
Beyond
Gotta
profanity,
isolate it.
he's got to run 84%. I expect his legs are being focused, but okay, they've got a little bit of support with them, so the Spider's having to back off, also having taken some damage.
Yeah, that Stalker was really able to come in and support him on Ghost and Nox and really kind of stop that flat-footed, that whole idea. How much did that Osiris pay for that? Not too bad.
Legs are orange, not bad, but it could be a concern going forward. I'm looking at the Spider here. Spider has a small pulse, not an ER large like I thought it might. With an ER large, you'd be able to support with harassing while also having the machine guns for close range.
VR large commandos, for sure. Looks like they're making a move again on this Osiris. I don't know why
Yeah,
they keep splitting up. Where'd our other
yeah,
guy go?
that's. Oh, he's
Finally went
leg
for
beyond
Kappa.
profanity. He's about to go down.
Yeah,
That's the end of him.
that's a great pick for Raptor Talon. That's one of their fast movers too.
And
Although it's still, if they have to take Theta though, that's going to be tough because, like I said, they got this Overwatch set up pretty good.
yeah, and the reason why. So they sent a light to go for Kappa. Kappa's out of a combat zone. That leaves your other light completely unsupported, and he has to play more cautious than when he's aware that his support isn't going to be there.
You think the Blackjack takes that cap instead? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to lose a trader off the front line, but either that or the light has to play way back when his buddy's not around. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of decisive damage here. Percentages are going down, but nothing's open from the stalkers I'm seeing on Ghost of Nox side. Notable is that one of the stalkers nearly cooked itself. If that side torso popped, that could have been pretty unfortunate. But other than that, damage looks relatively, it's percentages are relatively even-ish.
Is open, so he's kind of training a little bad.
Yeah, Phoenix Hawk.
In the overall Stalker battle, I think Raptor Talon's losing it, but they're really playing the rule.
Ooh, Phoenix Hawk is down, so that evens out the kills. But that's a trader down for a light. I don't know. Lights are important for cap control, but traders are important for if you're doing this more slow burn. Crazy Motorbiker is open CT in his Stalker, although there's no internal damage yet. But 61% on a Stalker is when things start to open up there.
Lights are trying to get behind to get Kappa, but the Osiris and Blackjack have seen this movement.
Yeah, Raptor Talon's lights do have to make some sort of a move, though, and Theta's so heavily covered with the ER larges. But they're split here.
It looks almost like the Spider is committing to getting that Osiris. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, the Commando was going in for back shots on the Stalker, but the Stalker turned for him. So you don't really want to be doing 1v1s if you can avoid it. But they do need to make a play at some point. They still have plenty of time. They can wait another 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes before they have to get a second cap.
GNX being very patient with their two Stalkers there.
That Osiris has to play careful.
I'll tell you what, GNX has really got Raptor Talon's balls in a vice grip here right now. And they're really getting into they have to make a decision to do something soon, or they're just going to keep losing percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, trades are relatively even, but
they got to get one of these other caps, and they're screening it really well. It almost seems like it was those lights, like there was a hole. They were just standing still for a bit. Checking seismic, I betcha.
Yeah, I do that with my lights. You power in, stop for a half second, get that seismic, and then boot it back out. Stalkers are a tanky mech, but they're, it's
Lights moving in
Stalker
again.
here.
That's really the only play that Raptor Talons has right now. They choked. Gosh, they could almost flip neutralize Kappa. They probably can't take it though.
I mean, they're baiting in the Blackjack, and the Blackjack is not healthy.
They don't know where they are exactly.
Yeah.
But again, I'm time to kind of to fiddle around. The clock's ticking.
There's still time. They got, I would say, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, and
I'm
then they
worried
need
about
that
the
second cap.
percentage though. But
Yeah.
fair enough. Like it's not like Ghost and Nox stalkers are doing great either. They're kind of actually getting evened out. Raptor Talons has a really fresh stalker, in fact, at about 80%.
This Blackjack's looking at the commando, but the Spider's not quite ready to jump, and there's a Stalker coming to assist. Yeah. So the Blackjack isn't taking too big of a risk. They're not jumpable because the Stalker's there as
They're
a
actually
second layer.
flipping Theta. They actually have pulled that Overwatch, distracted them enough. They're tapping it with the stalker.
Wow.
What a hero. I
I
love it.
mean,
That's a great play.
I didn't see
Distracting
that
it with
play
the light.
coming, so
Yep.
but it worked.
Why wasn't MW Bandit cat? Oh, wow. That happens sometimes. I guess he doesn't have a clear angle on it for sure.
I mean, these
Great play
lights
by
have been here
Raptor
for like
Talons.
2 minutes now. They're
This is
running a
really
big
changing the
distraction.
game. This is really changing the game.
Blackjack's getting jumped now. Stalker's coming, but he's not right there. This is high risk, but it might work. Side
Another
torse is
stalker off
open.
the line though.
That's probably an XL engine on that Blackjack.
Oh, they legged the
Osiris
Osiris.
is legged.
Yeah, wow.
If
Now
they
the
maybe
lights
just
are
bail out of
out.
here in the commando
Yeah,
Spider
I
at this
would.
point.
You got the cap lead. You keep your
The
capping
Spider's
ability.
dead. Took one
Should've
geek too many.
yeah.
The commando's still here. He should be.
Oh man.
Oh man, you need to keep at least one light alive, and you've got a light
Yeah.
versus a legged light. Like the commando doesn't have any fighting capability or percentage remaining to take hits, but he has both his legs.
Okay though, like so what? Essentially now GNX has stalkers to try and take Theta, and really bad percentage stalkers.
Yeah, still too close to call, but I think I favor Raptor Talons here slightly in this situation just because of percentages. They still have one stalker at 75%. And nobody
All
on
it takes
GNX
is
is
one
over
Chad.
53%.
Don't we know, Therax? All it takes is one Chad Stalker at the end of the match to win it.
Yeah, that is very true. Just cycling through, yeah, center torso on...
Man.
Ooh, most of these stalkers are open center torso and side torsos as well.
They've been doing their trading good, and it looks like they're gonna sacrifice a crazy mountain biker. That's
Oh, he's
that's
pushed up in that stalker. I thought, ooh,
yeah,
wow.
that's a throwback to Curlon, by the way. I think.
Yeah, I used to call him motorbiker or mountain biker all the time.
Biker.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow. Back in the old days.
They finally got that pesky Blackjack, and they got the Osiris. The commando came in.
Basically, whoever shoots first here, he picks up the kill. There we see motorbiker going down.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Commando's in there doing some harassment.
Beautiful.
And so now it's 3v2. The Osiris got cleaned up. He was already legged though, so it wasn't overly relevant. And now the Stalkers have to go find a cap, and they are critically wounded, and they're facing two Overwatch Stalkers, one of which is 71% still, and there's a Commando that's going to be doing some back capping. Like, Commando's probably going to go for cap as soon as he figures out nobody's around it.
It looked like he is going back to there right now. He does have a leg open. His CT is open, but it's also a Commando, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, the Stalkers are never going to be able to catch him. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Like, they need 2 cap right now for Ghost and Nox to win this, and
shout out to MW Bandit. They said go here and play this position, and god damn it, he's been playing this spot the entire match. He hasn't wanted to give up his ground. Whew. Same with Mechadian.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot, so...
Unwilling to budge.
They've probably been trading this entire time while some of their compatriots were turned around and trying to fend off the lights. MechWarrior Bandit's making a move for Theta.
That fresh Stalker's CT open now.
Yeah, I mean...
Raptor Talon. It's one at a time. Oh boy.
Yeah, they spotted him.
I mean,
It's a big, fat, slow mech. It doesn't, it just took one hit, right? But he had
I
to make
think
a play.
I think at the end of the day, this was played well by both teams, and
Yeah,
I
it came down to
Raptor
the light pick,
Talons.
basically. The
Yep.
light pick in the middle ground when one of the Osiris went from Kappa allowed the Commando and Spider to do a fair amount of harassment. Those are not. I mean, the Commando's unkillable cat mech, but for it to be able to get in there and deal damage, that's a little bit of a not generally what I see from it.
As you know, it's a mind game too, Therax. It's demoralizing to lose a light right away like that.
You know,
You start worrying about everything else in the cap game and really making sure you have to control your points and making desperate plays.
so we're basically just waiting here for the last stalker to go down. I mean,
Yep.
if he could pick up, I don't know, 2 kills and grab 2 caps in the
Here he
next 30
comes.
seconds.
He's just like, witness me. I am unkillable. I am mech. He's backing up again. That's not the.
I'm going
You don't
first
push that
person
one.
here.
Oh yeah.
He's looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, he saw where the beams were coming from, but it was too late.
Yeah, got tickled. Wow, what an amazing match.
Everybody's wounded here. It was
ISC
close.
action there, X. Good God.
Yeah, it's a close game.
What do you see on the scoreboard?
Running through the damage real quick here. Lunar Storm's coming out big with 800 damage. This is a lower tonnage drop, or well, middle tonnage, let's call it. So that's pretty impressive. Phoenix Hawk's got a double D. That's a bit of a tricky mech to trade from. I'm a little bit surprised that they took it. Might be some limitations as to mechs available for picks there. Maybe they're using up their chassis limit elsewhere. Commando's coming up big with 342 damage plus the 2 kills. That is big numbers for Commando. Spider's there with the assist and the distraction. And on the other side, we've got relatively even damage spreads, except for the Osiris that got picked. Stalkers are around 500 apiece, 672 coming out of Brackish, along with a pair of kills. So, trade mechs are trading. A couple of them, had a little bit of got picked or didn't get the angles. But relatively even damage spread.
I think absolutely. You look at all the scores there, and the trade mechs were trading. Everybody did their role right. That's why I think both teams played this really well. It's just that maybe that pick at the beginning, and maybe just a little bit of misplay or just a little bit of luck turned the other way on them there. But that's good. That's good, Therax. I like a nice close match, and that's what we're getting here.
Okay, now the teams are switching sides. I'm going to pop up the map strat, and then, yeah. I got to do logo switching, so I'm going to be not talking for a little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you really got to concentrate on it. You got all this shit drawn on here. How do you wipe it?
There's a white button in the top right.
Top right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. Wow, fantastic. So professional. All right, GNX was team 2. Like I said, they had some really good range setup. I really like what they did. They spread out. They had stalkers. Well, that's not exactly accurate. Stalker was back here and stuff. But anyway, you got your stalkers. You really got a nice even out. You want to have a line. You don't want to be clumped up. You want to be able to get many angles, and they got that. They had those 2 Osirises go to Theta early on, down there in the hero ground, get that Theta cap early. They were looking like they really had something set up. Team 2, of course, they were playing the standard kind of trade positions from across the way. That's not the right color. Had some malarkey here, had a lot of their weight up in here, just playing that trade game. GNX, they got the Theta cap. They were looking good early on. I think another thing that they should have done was get that cap a little bit earlier. And maybe not with the Osirises. I really like the more aggressive play with the Osirises, really kind of screening and really cutting them off and making them think about how they have to move to even consider Theta. That's kind of the early setup. And then, as we know, Raptor Talons, they just kind of got their lights in back there. Did that work in the Echo 4 area, slowly whittled away the Blackjack, the trade mechs there. This, of course, after the Osiris pick down there in the low ground.
Yeah, That about sums it up. I mean, a lot of trading and then a pick, which allowed for the excellent harassment of the Spider and Commando, which turned a number of mechs and eventually ended up turning the game.
And that's when we saw the hairy-chested stalker asserting its dominance upon Theta, saying, "I'm not a light, but I'm taking this. I'm taking this from you, GNX."
Yeah, the Stalker pushed down to Theta. I was not looking at that. I was not expecting it, and then all of a sudden it's happening, and it's all because the lights were putting in some excellent squirreling out in Echo 3.
Two mechs were tying up 3-4 mechs all at one time. I think that also kind of ended up shifting the percentages and the whole stalker trading overall. They had that one stalker pulled back off the line so much around Kappa and trying to screen with those lights that it kind of left their other two stalkers out there, trying to just trade 2-on-3. We're gonna flip it up this time. We're gonna flip the sides though. We're gonna see what each team brings this time. You think we see the same range trade, or do you think somebody is just like, let's go out there and let's have a gentleman's quarrel in the back alley and let's have some fisticuffs? What are you thinking?
I mean, they're all out of stalkers, so things are going to have to change for them.
You're so true. That is so true. You are right.
Now, do we see different traders like Battle Masters, or do we see that they're going to just bring a brawl deck or something completely different?
Battlemaster is always a bold play. I love its broad shoulders and its easy to dome headshot cockpit.
All right, teams are coming in.
What side you on, Therax?
I am looking at Ghosts of Nox, blue team again. And I'm seeing three Griffin 2Ns. I'm assuming those are going to be Brawl SRM types. And they're backing up with a pair of Warhammer 6Rs and a Dervish. So this is going to be pushed. I'm looking at the builds on these Warhammers. It's LBX-10 ER small, LBX-10 ER small. So that is a Brawl
Raptor
build.
Talon already executing the 7-line push, and Ghost of Nox executing the crossover push. Both excellent Brawl maneuvers, except when both teams are Brawl. They have 3 Shadowhawk 2Ks. They got 3 Crusaders, and they're here to party, the Raptor Talons are. Those Shadowhawks, 3 SRM4s, 2 Snub-Nose PPCs, assuming they're all the same build. And the Crusaders are also 2 Snub-Nose, 12 small lasers.
So that's a lot of Snub-Nose PPC. So that is a lot of PPFLD that effective to 300, maybe 400 range.
You said those Warhammers were Brawl?
Yeah, LBX-10 ER small.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is the old swirly that I talked about when both teams want to do a really aggressive move and they take the angle that's a really good idea from both sides.
Raptor Talons knows where Ghosts of Nox are, though. They are crossing.
Does Ghost of Nox know where they are? I don't think so. I don't think that they noticed them.
Griffin's looking at a cap point.
No. Okay. Well, I don't think they know where they are then, because I don't think they'd be making that play if that was the case. I love this move. Marching. Do you guys, do you know who the is St. Dane? Is he the leader of the Raptor Talons?
I do believe he is, yes.
I do believe so too. Look at him leading by example, leading the men into battle. He's like, follow me, men. The day is ours. We will drink the blood from their skulls.
They are, I don't think they've actually spotted Ghosts of Nox. I think they're just using process of elimination. They went and checked the range spots, nobody's there, so now they're coming over to the other side.
I feel like they made a pretty sharp turn though when they decided to do this, but you might be right. They this is well, no, I think they know where they are. This is interesting.
Now,
Ghost of Nox is kind of in a lower ground bad kind of situation.
Raptor Talons is pushing, but they actually have the range advantage here with the Snub-Nose PPCs versus the SRM6.
They got a Crusader isolated though. Those Griffins are looking to make a meal out of him. Lunar Storm. Body leg shooting. It's pandemonium out there, Therax!
Lunar Storm's legged in his Crusader, so Raptor Talon's probably going to suffer the first casualty here. They're a little bit spread out.
Fire going on. Yeah, we're kind of all having individual battles right now.
Yeah, the second Shadowhawk is legged here. St. Dane. Casualties are equal, 1-to-1. Percentages are slightly in favor of Ghost of Nox. St. Dane goes down. Beyond Profanity is also legged, though.
I don't
Somebody
know
just
if
needs to
I
finish
heard
him
him
off.
punch out their X. They might have killed the head of this snake. Gas Boy taking out a guy. Wow. Just absolutely ruthless.
Yeah, kill lead's going for GNX in this. Some excellent light shield
Percentages
being going
going
on.
for GNX too. Wow.
This is going GNX's way. So basically, it was a bit of a push into a choke point, and Raptor Talons ended up becoming a little bit spread out, with some targets self-isolating or becoming isolated due to movements and leggings.
You know that Echo 4 area with those buildings, it's kind of tough to brawl in there if you think about it. It's so easy to isolate targets, right? It's not that open area where you can really all dive in and focus a target that's out in the open. As you know from experience, what happens a lot in these kind of brawls is somebody calls out a target and nobody can find them because there's buildings and so many mechs moving around that everybody just starts kind of shooting their own thing.
Yeah, and you see it on the damage totals here that some of the mechs just got picked early on Raptor Talons. There's a couple with less than 200 damage, whereas no one on the GNX side has less than 200 damage. And that kind of, that's where you start to win the brawls, when nobody gets picked early. And that can come down for a variety of different reasons, that that people have trouble finding the target, or there isn't an obvious target, or the target gets away, which can also happen.
Yeah, they also did good though. They pulled back from GNX's side. They pulled back, and so that there was more open ground that the Raptor
Yeah.
Talons had to cross. So like the benefit of even cover from the buildings wasn't even there. It was just all segmented, and it's a hard push.
I think Raptor Talons, if they had known the builds, they would have realized they had the range advantage with some of those PVCs. They could have backed off a little bit and
So true.
done the receive instead of the push themselves.
Hmm.
But they didn't have that build information before they made the push to call to push. And it might have been the LBX-10s that they saw that made them think that they were not having the range advantage.
But you know what, Therax? They wanted to go in there and push, and they did. What I'd hate to have seen was a stalled push, because that's a guaranteed loss. You're talking, though, about pulling back with the range advantage. That's great. What you don't want to see, though, is them half commit to a push, or one guy go in and nobody else really commit to it. They went in there and they did what they planned. They just didn't get the numbers falling their way from the get-go.
Yeah, that could have gone either way. I'm not going to criticize them there for their calls. You don't have perfect information when you make a decision, and everybody was in on that decision.
Yep. What are we at? 2-1 now, coming into the last map in the last two drops?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a close one going on here. So now we're into River City. The drop tonnage goes up to 420, which across 6 mechs, you're going to start seeing assault mechs here. And first drop is going to be, GNX is on the first, on Team 1 still. So they are getting the airport side. So normally on airport side you play range, but because Gamma Cap doesn't exist for this, then sitting up in airport just camping it with a range drop doesn't necessarily work. So I'm expecting to see something a little bit different out of Team 1. They might just go for a push, or maybe they will... there's a couple different directions you can push.
So, you're right though too, but Therax, we've also seen teams playing up in that spaceport anyway. And I think that I've seen it kind of go 50-50 as far as whether that ends up working out for them.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So
I don't know if those
it
are
could
good
go
or bad
either
odds.
way. So there's a couple of push options for the Bravo team, assuming that for the Team 1, assuming that Team 2 is playing range up in the high city.
I believe that you would, of course, because it's
Yeah, at
it's a
least
hard area
initially
to
you want to
push
be up there.
usually. If you have any sort of scouting, it's kind of a hard area to push. If you don't have good scouting, then you can get kind of caught there. Again, the whole buildings thing.
Yeah, but there are push options that can get into that high city. You can either try to rush a bridge, which it can work, but I think the more obvious push lines are a little bit slower from the Team 1 side. Team 2 absolutely has a bridge rush possibility, provided that Team 1 elects to try and trade from the airport. But because the Gamma Cap doesn't exist, I would not take that as a guarantee that Team 1 is going to try and play up in the airport.
I'm thinking, Therax, that the most interesting fights of this particular map are going to be right there at Theta, right there deep in the hero ground. That's where we're going to see the interesting fights, and that can really obviously dictate the pace of this match. It's kind of like Frozen City. kind of a hard one to get back once the teams are set up. So you try to
Yep.
sneak it early a lot of times, and then you end up trying to hold it. Not always easy to do though, as we saw in Frozen City. We had a stalker take away Theta eventually. So
Yeah, Theta on this map, it's got a little bit more cover than on Frozen City, but it is very much an area where if both teams are playing
I
range, it can
think
be
they're
difficult
confused
to
first
find
time.
a way in and out as a light where you don't lose a leg on the way.
These guys are all confused. That's all right. They've been awfully polite with their punctuality today, their tidiness, and their quick lobbies.
Yeah,
I think we switch back for the final one. You got it, buddy.
used to have more frequent switches in comp, but then we figured out a new format where you don't have to switch as frequently. Very nice, very nice.
Teams just kind of agreed, like, we'll just do it that way instead. You know what would be great though, Therex? Some sort of switch teams button in this lobby.
You know, I heard that Starwolf thought of that idea himself.
Yeah.
I
I wonder if
hadn't
anybody's thought about bringing it up though. You know,
it
have you
hadn't ever
talked to them?
occurred to me that switching lobbies with a single button click instead of like I don't know 6 to 12 clicks would be useful.
Gosh, I'm glad that people know better than me, because I'm just an idiot.
All right, are we done with the map strat, or should I leave it up there?
Gosh, I don't know what else there is to say. We kind of talked about common setups. We could also throw that completely out the window. We could see something different. Again, I think the most interesting fight early on will be at Theta, and then boy, I'm just happy to see what this old crock pot of hot mech action turns out to be.
Yeah, yeah. You want to come up with some crazy strats just to keep people entertained while we wait here while the teams sort out a
God,
few things?
boy, what I like to point out some crazy strats. Something crazy that does sometimes work is when teams don't pay attention and they don't ever scout the this area here, this bridge. So they spawn in Starport,
Can
and
we
then
can we talk about something else, Judas?
they're crazy butts. They just rush the whole team right across
No,
here,
no,
and you
no,
think
no, 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 Judas.
you're safe because you're setting up all your
No,
range up here,
I'm not listening.
and then it's three victors, and they come and dunk all over you like you're Aaron Carter
Oh man,
playing basketball against Shaq.
did those victors have like Centurions backing them up?
I'm glad that you asked. They sure did. It was a real brawl. It could be hypothetically a real brawly good time for somebody. So that's sometimes crazy. That sometimes happens. Um, I'm not gonna rule out Team Two. Just doing a come at you. You know, one of these kind of movements. Or something directly through the rock garden. If they're looking to be aggressive for some reason, if they don't want to really play that high ground in Echo 5, some teams just aren't comfortable with that, or they like to have fun, so they want to actually go and bust some heads together. Uh,
Yeah.
Boy, some people do some weird strats, and play some range from team one side, down around here. Here's a crazy strat for you, Therax. Let's say, hypothetically, your team two here, and you're going to set up. What if you want to avoid the brawl? So you put out your range out here in the water, right? And you watch Theta and you watch Kappa, and then you get those caps and you just watch them from your range and you deny it with ER larges, and then they have to push you in the water, huh? And then Team Two's like, oh guys, I don't know what to do. They're out there in the water. We're gonna have to push them, and they're like, I don't want to do it. That's not gonna work. Well, we have to, and they're gonna run out into the water, and then those other guys are gonna be like, they're running out into the water, pew pew pew, and they're gonna shoot them, and then pure pandemonium.
Yeah, yeah. Used to be that there used to be time of day changes on this map, and you could get a sunset, and then
Yeah,
the sun would be in the eyes of the people facing off against the people in the water. So
yeah.
half the mech is underwater, and then there's a giant ball of sun in your eyes, so you can't even see the top that isn't in water. It was
Okay,
good
for
times.
any goobers that might actually be watching here and may not know, damage is actually reduced in the water when you're shooting through the water. So if you're sitting there trying to leg lights in the water and you're wondering why you keep missing their legs, it's actually because there's damage reduction from the water. Food for
Yeah.
thought.
Between the damage reduction and the sun in your eyes, it was quite a pain to fight against the guys in the water.
You
But
betcha. You
that's
sure was.
yeah, time of day got removed about 2 years ago in a patch, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, and the chug a lug. Man, some people don't know the good stuff that we had back before the glory days of MechWarrior Online, of course.
Yeah, yeah, the current glory days. Um, just looking at the last bit here, teams are almost ready, I think.
I think they're just taking a little bit longer. There was a little lobby confusion there. Like I said, these guys have been super punctual and absolute gentlemen. And from my understanding, generous and thorough lovers.
We should talk about histories of these teams. How about
Oh, okay.
okay, so Raptor Talons, they're old school players, old school unit and team that used to exist. They were clan loyalist Jade Falcon unit, and so they're here playing in an ISC tournament now. And used to be that they didn't have IS mechs. I guess now they do, so they can participate in the ISC, but they might have more limited drop deck options, perhaps. They'd also taken a break from the game for a couple years, and when they came back, they were in Division H in the Trials of Combat, where I was playing in Division H on a different team. And they absolutely rocked us that league. They dominated that league. It wasn't even close. So now they've been bumped up a division. So we're going to see how they're performing against slightly harder competition, and in a league where maybe they don't have, well, they don't have access to their clan mechs. So, and GNX on the other side, long time. Oh, I mean, at this point, it feels like a long time. Maybe it's only 3 or 4 years, but GNX has been a competitive unit in the game. They do a lot of faction play as well, and this would be their B team. So there's some veteran players on that team with recognizable names, but probably doing a little bit of team cohesion, training, and practicing it up.
Definitely some names that we've been seeing in the game for a while. Certainly, and when those units they have the B teams or the lower division teams, you see a lot of improvement quickly because they're out there, of course, practicing with the main team, and those teams are trying to build those guys up too. So it's really fun to see that progress as well. It's funny. I forgot completely about Raptor talent. Well, I didn't think about the fact that they were snobby clan loyalists, a lot like the Smoke Adders were. And it is interesting to see them here in the ISC tournament as they are still rocking the Jade Falcon faction badge.
Yeah, I used to play against them like 5, 6 years ago in the bottom divisions when I was on SA's at the time third team or second team. So yeah, they're veteran players. Good to see them come back to play some more in the comp scene.
Definitely recognize some of their names too. Man, oh, I'm excited. We're finally getting in here, Therax. Is River City ever going to stop burning? It's kind of like a fire at a sea park. It's like there's so much water around. Why doesn't somebody put out these fires?
Judas with the hard question. Maybe it's because the fire brigade abandoned the city once they knew battle mechs were going to be there. I mean, would you like to be putting out a fire while there's battle mechs fighting around you? Those
Well,
firefighters have families, Judas.
I don't want to sound like some kind of nerd, but isn't there some kind of utility mech that could just shoot some water out of here? Doesn't that exist?
Yeah, I've got the rule books for that in my Total Warfare book, I think, for fire hoses.
Oh, wow, what a nerd. I'm seeing the dropships moving, Therax. Only a matter of time now. What side you gonna be on?
I'm looking at GNX coming in here. They've got a couple of maulers, 3 grasshoppers, and a locust. Single light for them. They're probably going to try and rush theta with that. Maulers are DACA, grasshoppers are ER large, ER mid, so not full range, but not brawl close range, mid range either.
All right, Raptor Talons. interesting deck. We got some ham and cheeses, some Hatamoto cheese, probably, most likely, almost certainly going to be playing some range up in the upper city. They actually have an AC2, two AC5s, and two light PPCs. That's not a build I'm familiar with, but it certainly sounds like one that can slap adapt. They have a Victor 9A1, a steak sauce with three AC5s and two light PPCs, and a dream. Who else am I missing? They had a Vulcan with snubs, the 5.6, and they have a quick draw that I think is short range. It's the 5K, so maybe Pulsey. And then their Warhammer 6R is actually two AC10s and some two PPC affair.
Now, did you not get the message you can pair Light Goss with ERPPCs, or is this more for DPS?
I don't know. I think that it's maybe for DPS. It's maybe just a straight hero play. It's maybe just like I'm not going to be some kind of loser sitting in the back with Light Goss and PPC.
Now, the
I
Locust
want to get my
has
hands dirty.
the Locust has made a cap advantage here for Ghost of Nox, so they can camp airport for a while, probably.
I was wrong about the quick draw, by the way. 4 large lasers on that, so a little rangy, a little bit more mid-rangey.
Yeah, it's a fair bit of mid-range with a lot of DACA for the DPS, so drop deck wise, we're going to see trading probably, but they do have more. They're not going to be heat capped in those grasshoppers should they get pushed as easily as a full 5-year large would.
The Raptor Talons didn't really make any denial for Theta. Ghost of Nox gobbled it up and actually got a full cap on it. So that's probably going to play in later if it doesn't just quickly end on kills for Raptor Talon.
There's a lot of PPC fire going out, but it's light PPCs, so at these ranges, that's not going to be dealing full damage.
It's sure going to suck to get hit with, though. It's kind of like being the dog when they roll up the newspaper and smack you on the nose. Stop it, you know?
So the Mauler from Ghost of Nox, one of them is down to 77%, and that's mostly torso damage. So
oh wow,
it's going to add up. They are not winning their trades, even though they might have a range advantage.
Yeah, dear gosh, you look at this, and we got pretty much 90% and up with Raptor Talons, and Ghost of Nox bleeding percentages. Grasshopper 77, Mauler 76. Oof.
They are rotating the damaged mechs further back.
They also got this Locust sneaking up a little bit. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do, though.
Yeah.
Especially with this quick draw, watching this lane right here.
So GNX is kind of trading like 3v5 right now because they've got a Mauler and a Grasshopper that are making a play to protect the Kappa cap as opposed to doing any trading. And they might even be trading like 1v5 here if they're not careful. MechWarrior Bandits getting left behind in the airport.
So the tendency when you get a cap lead like this is to then, and you start losing your trades, is you really want to play conservatively, and that can also be not the best move here. So you'll see that they're really trying to pull back and turtle back, but they're also giving up so much map position here in range for the enemy here. I know that they have a good healthy theta cap, but I don't. They've lost percentages, and let's not act like Raptor Talons can't make a move from that port with those AC5s, those light PPCs, AC2s.
The Locust
DPS.
and Vulcan, they just ran past each other. Neither of them, I don't think, saw each other.
The Locust sees them now, right?
I'm not sure if he's just going to Theta or if he actually knows where the Vulcan is.
Yeah, okay. The Vulcan, now they won't even know he's there because there's no cap. Iggy, you tried to make the jump and you couldn't. Gotta have one more jump there. Quick draw is CT. That's the large laser one up on the hill. He's standing out in the open, they, and really getting punished for that maneuver. So that wasn't the best thing to happen.
Yeah, Grasshopper with the large lasers trading against ear large is not going to work out. Oh, Raptor Talons is making a push.
Yep, they're making a push, and that ham and cheese hopped right down into the rock garden, and he's kind of isolated and getting punished. They got to commit to this if they're going to do it.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't quite prepped up in time.
I think maybe the thought is to sacrifice him so the others can cross the starport, but I don't know.
I doubt that would have been a strat, but
maybe he fell on accident. I don't know.
Oh, he's making the move onto the open. St. Dane, oh boy. Nobody's looking. Is he gonna make
once
it?
Once again, though, the Vulcan kind of playing down here by Theta. They were all distracted for a minute until he shot them. Not that he'd be able to pull off that full cap anyway.
Yeah. MWO Bandit's getting left behind. He'll probably want to start turning and running.
these colors
So
don't
Raptor
run
Talons
there.
made it across the open. Nobody's gone
Yeah.
down yet. St. Dane's at 55% though off of that cross.
Early on, they were losing those trades, but Ghost of Nox now in a pretty good spot as far as percentages again. They punished them so hard for crossing that bridge.
Yeah, Moto-Chi is open, yellow side torso, open, undamaged CT.
So what? GNX had one mech kind of up in the starport, or maybe a couple, and they pushed out. Um, you got to wonder if maybe taking Rock Garden and that cover straight to where more of their main is might have worked better for them.
And GNX is still backing up here. They have not quite escaped yet with their
Don't
grasshoppers.
don't love their position here right now though with these guys up in the starport. I figured that they would have kept moving away.
Beyond Profanity's open CT in the grasshopper,
Gosh, he's just
60%
getting
in the
punished.
open.
That Pirate Bane is coming in now. He's jumping on the Victor. Crazy mountain biker.
Locust is playing it aggressively, but he's
Yeah,
taking hits.
Oh yeah, he's paying for it.
He might get that quick draw, but he's probably
This
going to go
quick
down
draw.
for it.
He's losing a laser. Oh, he's down.
Wow,
He's
the
toast.
Locust 50%, but it still has both legs. Now it's gone.
Not anymore. Wow, this is an amazing push.
St.
Just
Dane's
when I
putting out
thought,
damage. Lunar Storm's
man,
up front tanking 43%.
Misty is isolated. That Mauler's going down. Oof. Matter of time. There. Oh wow. Okay. I could be wrong.
Well, the percentages are quite low, so we could see a bunch of kills just all of a sudden get
We're
changed
seeing
here.
it slug out. I'll tell you what, though, Therax, that AC10 decision is actually really making a difference here.
Yeah, for a push like this, you definitely do not want to be using the light Gauss. So we have a Mauler at 58% and the Warhammer at 62%. They're duking it out here. Incoming Vulcan from behind on the Mauler.
Wow.
This is going the way of Raptor Talons, but that was a very close push. Not very many. I mean, these mechs, they're not looking so healthy.
Yeah. That was just another great fight, and a little bit more decisive than that Frozen City one was, as far as time wise. This was more timely, but that was great. I thought for a second Ghost of Nox was going to be okay there, um, but they left themselves really open to that back starport position.
They had
Uh,
backed out of the airport, but they hadn't made it to the cover of the city yet, and they got
this
kind
is
of caught in the open.
and that's kind of what I'm talking about when you get that cap lead, you start to overplay that a little bit and you start to get really conservative. And when you turtle back like that, you can end up getting caught in like a shooting gallery fishbowl kind of deal like that.
Yeah.
Just good movement from Raptor Talons. You know, they kind of know the push idea. That DPS all paid off, even though you were doubting them and I never did for 1 second. And that AC10 Warhammer standing at the end of the match.
Yeah, the Warhammer is definitely looking like a decent choice for that kind of a push. A bit of a hybrid trader with some more DPS. And it's caps for 550 for 520 for GNX, so there wasn't a whole lot of time left for Raptor Talons to make that move. They had to make that push when they did.
Yep, and they did it decisively enough. Wow, Saint Dane, the hero down in the Rock Garden. 859 from him. Good golly.
Yeah, MechWarrior Bandit and the Grasshopper up in the airport, last mech to leave it. He was at 700 damage as well himself. That is quite impressive.
Misty was getting farm on that cross as well, of course, in the Mauler.
Yeah, basically the only damage that stands out to me as a bit low is the quick draw 5k with just 81. The CT was opened up on that quick draw when it was trying to trade with the large lasers against those ER larges, so that was more of a situation where you don't want to be trying to trade.
I think he's out of range there. I think if
Yeah.
you want to take that kind of mech and that kind of role, you just go with the ER larges, right? Like I get the idea, you fire 4 without ghost heat, but like you can ghost heat the ER larges
Yes,
pretty
definitely.
okay still, and still just shoot 3 when you need to.
Yeah, so other than that, like damage spread's relatively even. You can kind of tell probably who died when, based off of damage, and a couple carry players there.
Yep. This is great there, X. We're 2-2. We're coming down to the final match. How great is that? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, this is great. This is I mean, third matchup cast. The first one went 2-2, deciding the fifth drop, and the second one wasn't quite as close. But yeah, it's good to have these close matches to watch, and not just close in the match score, but also the drops themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is how you can have fun watching any division in MechWarrior Online from A to G, or whatever we're at now. Um, when you get the two evenly matched teams, um, it's still just a good time. You still get those close matches. You still get that entertainment. Nobody wants to see a stomp, and that does happen in every Div 2. But it's always great. It's always great to see some action like this, on a Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. They're fun games to play when they're close, and fun games to watch.
So I'll ask this again, Therax. Do you think we see a switch up? Do you think now one team goes Brawl versus the other? Like maybe GNX tries to play a more aggressive deck this time?
Um, Hard to say. I don't know. Both teams have been playing. Well, they did take one drop range and one drop brawl on Frozen City, which maybe we see the same here. But both
What
teams
would you
were
do?
hedging a
What
little
would you
bit
do,
toward
Therax?
brawl on this drop. They weren't going full dedicated range. So maybe they just do that again, running like these mid-range drop decks back with the auto cannons for DPS. They can play the range or push with that AC5, AC2. They've used up their stalkers. They have not used up their annihilators. They used up a lot of their chargers. Well, no, chargers are still an option. Chargers
That
and
those were
victors
ham
are
and
both
cheese.
available to them.
The Hatamoto
Yeah,
cheese
the
this
Hamoto
last time with
cheese
Raptor Talon.
and grasshoppers were used up here for different teams. They
I'm
they
wondering if we do see that Charger push, or
I
maybe
mean,
something completely out there, something you wouldn't expect at all, like 3 victors or something.
yeah, chargers and victors have not been used. I don't know if both teams have used up the
But
crusaders. One
no,
team
no,
did.
it's one team used the Victor here, the steak sauce, the 9A1
Yeah, but they do
A1
have
steak sauce.
push mechs left that they could put together a decent heavy push deck. But there's also the annihilators that have not been used, so we could see range trading as well.
Huh, we haven't seen any of those big boys,
The annihilator is a good
burly
mech. It
chested
is a
guys.
tonnage league though, so not for sure that they're going to use them.
Not as strong as they would be in other leagues. Absolutely right. I'm so excited. Both teams are locked in. We're dropping back down into the River City for the deciding match, the deciding drop in this match.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good to come out with that week one win, get those points behind your team.
Yeah. Is this a per drop league, Therex, for
I
points?
believe it's just strictly match wins.
Okay.
There might be MC per drop though. I'm not so sure on that.
I bet you that's a to be determined
It
type of
probably
deal.
is, yeah.
That's how we do it here. Or they do it, as we're not affiliated with anybody but the Scott
Yeah.
Atkins Society.
But from my understanding, it's whoever wins this drop wins the match, and that is all the cheese that they're taking home.
That's what it's all about. That's what we train for. That's what we go out there in the gym and run 5 miles for, and then get in the simulators and crank out 3 hours worth, and then we go and scrim our home teams for 3 times a week. That's what it's all about.
So I'm looking at Raptor Talons over here. They're spawning in the airport with AC5 Annies and ear large grasshoppers. So they're playing range, but those annihilators are anchoring them with a bit of mid-range DPS. And then they're also bringing a Phoenix Hawk 7S. I'm guessing small pulse. No, it is snub-nosed PPC with small lasers. Okay. And then just gonna get the build here if I can. And that is 8 small pulse. So they do have a little bit of DPS in their hit squad to go with some ear large and some AC5.
Okay. This is fun from Ghost of Nox. They got 3 Crusader 6Ts. Fun mech can do a lot of different things on it. They're choosing to do 14 small pulse on those bad boys. They got a Charger 1A1. That's the steak sauce for the Chargers. And he's actually bringing some large pulse and ER meat. So just kind of a mid-range laser vomit affair. Sleipnir, love that mech. Don't see it too much anymore, but still cool. That's the shotgun, the 4 LB10s, and then they got this cute little dervish guy with 6 medium pulse and no head armor apparently.
So it's definitely going to be a push out of Ghost of Nox here, but they do have a little bit of mid range with the LPL Charger and the UX5 Cyclops. They're looking at they're just pushing through Park.
See, this is what I was talking about before. Was this the better approach from that side? We're gonna find out what the better approach is, I think. And right now they have nothing to combat this starport business from Raptor Talons because they're all short range. Oof.
Yeah, they need to. They're bleeding percentages here badly, and
Yeah,
they're also
and the
behind on
thing,
caps, which
4 LV10 Sleipnir, not very fast either. So he's out here in no man's land. Oh dear.
one of the Crusaders already lost an
Oh.
arm.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna just say this though. Beyond profanity, brave. You know, you say we're gonna cross, and he says, "I'm gonna do it, Captain." He goes out there, and he's just like, "I'm not afraid of death. I fear nothing."
One of the
You think he
Crusaders got
scares
halved
me?
from a rear shot. Another Crusader's lost an arm.
Uh,
That this is not looking very.
Charger, the last Charger, Misty, just all alone. Ugh.
Yeah,
Oh,
they need to find their in, and they need to find it before they take any more damage.
lowest percentage on Raptor Talons right now, 96%.
Yep.
They got the
Now,
caps.
we did talk about how Airport does not have a cap, so Theta's going to be basically impossible to get, but they are taking Kappa here with one of their Crusaders. The Firestarter's looking at it, but he's not going to try to jump that Crusader, the Small Pulse Crusader.
That's a good point. They're going to have trouble trying to play those outer caps from there.
So GNX is down in percentage. They've lost some of their weapons even, but if they stay in cover and run the two caps, maybe they can find a pick when Raptor Talons sends one of their Phoenix Hawk or their Firestarter to try and get a cap.
Crusaders, Dervish, fastest mechs on Ghost of Nox side, so they don't really have a light mech. But that's still a lot of mobility. When you look at that versus Raptor Talons, 2 Annies, 2 Grasshoppers, that's really going to slow you down. Their fastest mech is the Firestarter, and then the Phoenix Hawk, but that's a snub build. You know, that's not necessarily your standard go cap light.
Now, I was talking about
Map
playing
go
the
light.
caps here for GNX. It would take several minutes, and looks like they're not really posturing for that. Looks like they're looking at a push here.
I kind of wish that they would, though, because obviously the percentages aren't in their favor. I think they're
Yeah,
better off making Raptor Talons come to them, bust up their beautiful Overwatch up here, where they have
they've kind of
multiple
just taken too
angles.
much damage at this point for a push to be a high percentage success. Like
I
half their
love
mechs
these
are
guys.
halved.
Like, there's no stop. We will not quit.
Now,
We will
Raptor
get in
Talents,
range.
yeah,
Uh,
that's a lot of armor, those annihilators, a lot of DPS out of those AC5s.
you know, they're controlling the shit out of this nice little park back here, though. Raptor Talons are not going to be able to enjoy the lush greenery back here and the beautiful grove of trees. So they got that going for them. Wow, they got a Crusader all the way up here. He was just booking it this whole time.
Yeah, that one was
He's
over on
almost
the Kappa cap, and then it's come over here, and it's still fresh.
he's almost in range so far.
Yeah,
Almost.
he doesn't want to peek early, though, because that's going to be a lot
Well,
of
he
pain.
did. He did take a little peeky poo. That Sleipnir's going to get there eventually, though. And boy, are they going to be sorry then. Beyond profanity, he's got something to prove. He's halved, but that was only slowing him down. He's going to bring these 2 LB10s to bear. And Raptor Talons is going to be sorry for it.
Yeah, Raptor Talons has had plenty of time to set up here. They're even sending a mech to reinforce Theta, or are they just running past it to look for back shots?
Or Arthin got stuck on that rock. You know, I do kind of like his movement, though, thus far. I mean, he was able to get pretty close without really taking damage. He was also kind of trying to go on a different angle here. He's trying to catch the Firestarter. He's getting involved, you know, while the rest of the team waits for you know, a good coordinated push and a Denny's Grand Slam breakfast.
Yeah, this is looking. There's
Here we are,
potential
though.
of the push coming, but there's not.
Ghost and Nox, but they don't need to, though. This is what's really killing me, right? They don't need to do this. They've now flipped the cap lead. And it doesn't look like Raptor Talons is willing to play that yet.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not going to win any
Firestart
trades.
is,
Like every time they peak, they're trading like 1v4 or something.
the
And
Firestart is making a break, though. These Crusaders only have small pulse. He's going to outrange them pretty quick. You know, even if he doesn't stop here and flip Epsilon, he can outrun him and still get to Kappa. There's still time for that,
the
right?
Crusader's been drawn out in the open. It
Yeah,
used to be a fresh Crusader. Now it's missing an arm.
Well, that Crusader, he got bamboozled.
Here's the push. GNX is going in. They're making their gambit.
Beyond profanity. You know what he had to prove? Heroism. He's not scared. He'll go in first.
Yeah.
brackish.
Let's see what they can do here.
He's toast.
They're getting in there. One of the Annihilator's legged from St. Dane. He's only got one leg remaining. He was the focus target, and he's in a 2v1 right now. He's not shooting at all. I wonder if he's lost his ammo or something. St. Dane's gone down.
I just watched Bandit run all the way up to Crazy Motorbiker in his Crusader, not stop, and bump chests with them. You know, like they just scored the big goal.
They have picked off both the Annihilators. And there's still 3 up from GNX. They're making a push on those Grasshoppers.
Okay, well,
Grasshoppers have taken damage.
It's looking grim for Ghosts of Nox, but you know, technically they're still in this fight. Even though each one is being double teamed. Arthen, the hero, the good movement guy, has no arms.
Yeah, he has
a dream.
What, 2 small pulse in the torsos.
He has a dream. He has 1 small pulse left, 1 torso left, 2 torsos technically.
And there he goes.
Now he has no torsos left.
The approach through the park, they just ended up taking too much damage. Never really had a chance to.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. They didn't commit to it, right? So they started getting punished pretty good in the park. Wasn't looking good, and then they decided to go try to get to the backside of the Citadel, and that movement is what really stunk. You know, that really hurt them. They were going to get punished for this kind of movement. They should have just sucked it up and got right under Starport right away with that heavy movement, I think. At least they would have been in range for most of the match, you know?
Yeah, the Cyclops, he's got 18 damage total. He got halved before he was even smelling where the enemy was shooting from. And you kind of just see the Grasshoppers put on a farm 800 damage. One of the Annihilators got 700 himself. So the 4 ranged boys on the Raptor Talons just managed to sit up there and basically farm.
I don't think this is as cut and dry either as like just losing this in the mech lab. I think this is more just a game of rock, paper, scissors where Raptor Talons really know they wanted to do something with Starport there. And unfortunately, GNX deck just kind of played directly into that.
Yep. Yeah, the Annihilators with the ISC5 mean that you aren't going to be just heat capped if you get pushed.
Wow. What a great match tonight there, X. I've had a blast. I hope the players have had a blast. I hope anybody watching has had a blast. This has been an excellent ISC matchup.
Yeah, it was a good match to cast. Ultimately, Raptor Talons walks away with that 3-2 victory. So they get the first match win of their season or league.
Yep.
And we'll see what they put up through the rest of the league. They won Div H last go around, so they're off to a decent start here. See if they can keep it up through the remaining weeks. And GNX, they played a tight, close game, so next week they can maybe make some adaptations. And even I don't even know if it was if there's all that much work to even be done. They'll come back next week and be looking to pick up a win there.
Sure, they'll pick up something from this cast that'll help improve their games. You know, we see teams, though, it's Div F. That doesn't mean these are bad players or that it's bad strats. I think we saw a lot of good decks today. I think we saw a lot of strong plays today from a number of different players out there. And we definitely saw some bravery.
Yeah, no, these teams, they definitely know what they're doing. They have strategies, they have decks, they're executing. They're definitely showing that they know what they're doing and they have a plan for their actions. So thank you, CptJudas, for joining me on this cast, and thank you to the viewers for watching. Anything you want to say to them before we pop off?
Oh my God, thank you so much, Therax, for having me here. And I'm gonna miss each and every single one of you cutie patooties.
Alrighty. So I don't know when my next stream is going to be. I'm going to look to see if maybe there's a game I can pick up for tomorrow. I think there's a team playing tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to get a cast there. And if not, then this upcoming week or weekend, maybe I can pick up a couple for the week 2 of ISC. So yeah, if you want to stick around, yeah, that's what we're going to be. More games coming up. Don't know when, but there will be more games.
Like and follow Therax. Smash that subscribe button. And make sure to donate to his PayPal down below in the description.
Oh, PayPal. Oh. Here I thought it was gun dollar bills mailed through
Or
USPS.
Streamlabs. Well, you could also mail your cash directly to him.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. All right, that's it. We're out.